Surprises come in all shapes and sizes. A surprise birthday, an extra $100 you weren't expecting in your jeans. But they can also be a negative, like finding a band-aid in a pool, or something like this.
Oh, that's so nice of her. And it's a big jar of brown sludge that smells like death.
Oh, you got the mother dough!
Did this come out of her?
My Hero, One Justice 2 is sort of a surprise. Sometimes great, with shades of something not so great. My Hero, One's Justice 2 is, just like a load of games published through Bandai Namco, is a game based on My Hero Academia. And if you're a fan of the show, you'll likely be picking this up. But, what if, like me, you've never seen My Hero Academia? What if the only anime you've ever watched is some Attack on Titan, and of course the best anime series, Dragon Ball Z? When booting up My Hero, One's Justice 2, you'll be given some cutscenes, and by cutscenes I mean still images with some moving in the background. You'll start off My Hero, One's Justice 2 as Izuku, or at least I assume that's how it's pronounced, going up against All Might, learning the controls and quirks. What's a quirk? Well, it's basically the term for a superpower. As you progress through the story mode, you will play through a large roster of characters, all with their own unique quirk, fighting styles, and ultimate abilities. If, like me, you've never seen the show My Hero Academia, playing My Hero One's Justice 2 is strangely a very confusing place to start. But after a couple of hours, I started to get a grip with the story and actually wanted to watch the show. If you've seen the movie, sure, why not, let's call it a movie, Sky High, then My Hero Academia is a mixture of Naruto and Sky High. Kids are going to school to learn and hone their superhero abilities, or quirks. The story mode is pretty straightforward. Rather than having a strange board game of story mode like we got years ago with Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, it's Mission 1, Mission 2, and so on. You'll even be able to play some missions from different perspectives to see their point of view. Depending on how well you do in each story mission, you'll also unlock customization options, but we'll get to that a little later. My Hero One's Justice 2 is a arena fighting game similar to what we got last year with Jump Force, or well, My Hero One's Justice number 1. Starting off, you'll pick a character you want to fight as and pick 2 support characters or sidekicks. These sidekicks will work like support characters from the Marvel vs. Capcom series. Your sidekick will appear, deal some damage, and then bugger off quicker than Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen after McLaren pulled out of the Formula 1. These attacks come in handy when you're against the ropes and your opponent is kicking the living shit out of you. Like majority of fighting games, you'll be able to have a special attack charging bar that will fill over time. As you can see, the combat is pretty basic and straightforward. Depending on the map you're playing on will depend on how enjoyable the fight is. If you're outdoors, the battles will feel somewhat epic, being able to hit your opponent so hard they're basically buried into the concrete, waving their legs in humour. If you're fighting inside a close environment like a classroom, the camera will sometimes go out of the confinement of the room and you'll be able to see nothing but white. In the classroom map, you'll also be able to smash your opponent through the floor, which I will say is a really cool effect. The controls are thankfully, well compared to who you ask, button bash friendly. Playing in the standard mode is a little like playing in the simple mode from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Button bashers will stand a chance actually fighting against honed fighters. If you're playing this when a friend has rocked up, it's easily accessible for a friend to pick up a controller and throw some curse words at you and the TV, rather than games like Mortal Kombat or Tekken, which can kill friendships. Graphically, My Hero One's Justice 2 is fantastic. With some anime games, a translation from anime show to games can look like absolute garbage, especially 3D fighting games, but as you can see, My Hero One's Justice 2 looks great, and seeing the lighting effects from each character is not only dynamic, but unique. The menu design is also quite friendly, appeasing to the eyes, and unique too. You'll be able to customize characters by changing their costumes, adding additional accessories such as weapons on their back, which they cannot use, gloves, masks, glasses, and more. The customization is similar to what we've gotten in the past with the Tekken Tournament series. You'll be able to customize any character in nearly any way. For example, if you like playing as All Might but want to equip the grenade gloves on his hand for whatever reason, then you'll be able to. In these menus, of course, you will be able to see majority of the characters available while playing. With some of them being hidden behind finishing the campaign, the opening roster is quite impressive. As you've seen in the combat, rather than the camera focusing on you, the camera will actually lock on to your enemy, and you'll be able to run around in the distance. In theory, this is a great idea as the enemy is always right in front of your screen the entire time. However, you won't be able to lock onto an enemy, so if they dodge just before your hit connects, you'll kick the air, and it's a little reminiscent of this. Also, you cannot cancel attacks during mid-combo. Sounds a little strange, but bear with me. If you input an attack and the opponent moves out of the way, you won't be able to dodge, or jump, or block to cancel the attack. Speaking of blocking, yes, you can block in My Hero One's Justice 2, but unlike Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, you will not be able to activate blocking while being hit. The hit detection in My Hero One's Justice 2 is also a little bit off. Here's a prime example. As you can see in this fight, what would normally register as a hit, All Might magically moves out of the way, and seeing as I cannot block or dodge while being hit, it causes a game over. I have a question for fans of the show. This explosive character seems pretty cool, right? Looks pretty cool, his abilities are pretty cool. But is his signature attack grabbing someone by the dick? Because that's not really a superhero move, that's more of a Jared Leto Joker kind of move. The combat is pretty basic. After you see through the beautiful visuals, and trust me, they are quite beautiful, you'll see the combat is a little tiresome. In Jump Force, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and yes, and even Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, each character you fight is a challenge, and you need to adapt to their fighting style, especially for Jump Force and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Majority of the fights in My Hero One's Justice 2 will come down to who you're playing as. If you're playing as Mr. Sandman here, you won't be doing well against range-based heroes, and you'll only be doing well against close ranged or Anakin Skywalker. Each character has multiple special attacks, sort of like what we got previously in Jump Force or other anime fighting games. When you select a character, will do a dynamic pose and some kind of charge up and attack. Looks pretty cool, right? Well, it looks cool. But there is a small problem. If your opponent hits you at all, and even with a flick of a pinky finger, it will cancel the attack immediately, and you've wasted the energy from the special attack. Now, last year in Mortal Kombat, the X-ray attacks are anti-flinching, and that would have been great for My Hero One's Justice 2. Multiple times during fights, I'd saved up energy to deal a devastating attack, only to be hit with a cheap shot, and not only the attack cancelled, but I'd wasted all the energy I'd saved. Most characters have some wicked attack too, and knowing nothing about the show, I want to ask anyone who has seen the show, what is this character's ability? My Hero One's Justice 2 is pretty, set in an interesting world, and is 100% easy enough to pick up and play. The combat is still a little underpolished, but hey, the second Dragon Ball Z game, the second NBA game, and the second Call of Duty game was underpolished. Hell, their most recent Call of Duty game is still underpolished. Though, My Hero One's Justice 2 sets out for what all anime games set out to do. Either excite and enthrall fans of the series, or pull in and intrigue new fans for them to check out the show My Hero Academia. While My Heroes One's Justice 2 combat isn't fantastic, it's wanting me to get out and check out the anime. The characters are fascinating, the abilities are unique, the costumes are great, and the character design is superb. For a second entry in the My Hero One's Justice series, you could do a lot worse. If you're a fan of the series, or if what you've seen has tickled your fancy, give it a look.